Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kodiak here. Welcome back to Legacy Gaming. We finally have concrete information about projects and the expedition window in Arc Raiders. I want to dive into what the developers say, what's real, what's not real, so that you can prepare for the departure window, which now starts on December 17th. All right, so right off the bat, the team says that the expedition hit a minor delay and the window will now open on December 17th. You'll have a 6-day period in which your raider can choose to leave the Rust Belt for good. And by departing in the caravan you have constructed in the expedition project, you will restart your journey with certain buffs and advantages. We want to take you through some of these areas here. Now, the buffs and advantages have been a huge question mark for a lot of people in the community. What does an actual reset look like? What are those advantages that we're going to get? There's been a lot of speculation, but now the team is finally diving into those. So let's look at it. So you're leaving Speranza. When the expedition departs, all items in your raider stash will be contributed towards it. Your next raider can earn up to 5 skill points based on the total value of your stash and coins at the time of departure. So all of the items that are in your stash plus all of the coins that you have added together, that's the value that you're leaving the expedition with. 1 million coins worth of values equals 1 extra skill point for your new raider. Now again, you can earn up to 5, so you need a combined stash plus coins of 5 million. When you restart, everything tied to your progress will be reset. That means your skill tree, level, stash, workshop, crafting abilities, and blueprints. It's worth noting that the initial onboarding from your first deployment in Speranza will be skipped. That means that all of the maps and potential workshop upgrades will be available as soon as you reset, so you won't have to do any of the jumping through hoops just to gain access to those basic things. You will still be starting from nothing, but you don't have to go through that unlocking process of just being able to access the upgrade. If you choose to reset, you are going to get some permanent unlocks, and most of them are cosmetic, but there's 2 really important ones here. The Patchwork Raider outfit, Scrappy's janitor hat, Expedition's indicator icon, skill points, again depending on your stash value, and 12 stash spaces. So decent upgrades that you can compound project over project as you continue to engage with this system. You're also going to gain some temporary buffs, a 10% repair buff, a 5% XP boost, and a 6% more materials buff from Scrappy. While skill points, extra stash space, and cosmetics are permanent unlocks, the account buffs will expire if you choose not to depart with the subsequent expedition. So if you stop engaging with this system, you stop getting those temporary buffs. Now bear in mind, buffs will increase in power for your next 3 expeditions, but only 1 departure is allowed per expedition window. So when I say compounding, that means that those buffs are going to get even better the more you engage with this system. Now again, the expedition window will open from December 17th and last until the 22nd of December. That is a different timetable than we initially thought, and you must sign up for it during that period. They also say that the value of your stash and coins will be counted when the window closes, not when you sign up, so you can keep looting and trying to get that value up to 5 million before the window closes. Now, if you choose not to depart, I know there are a lot of players who are not thinking about engaging with this system, you can continue to progress towards building a caravan, and all of that will be preserved, so you can keep working on it until the next window opens in a couple of months. The team wanted to end with a final note about why they're doing things this way. And they say progression wipes are notoriously difficult to balance in online multiplayer games, and they get that. Mandatory global wipes have some obvious benefits. Those heavily invested players get to re-experience the initial grind once again, and for a time, the playing field is leveled. The optional expedition window is the team's solution to some of the problems that inevitably arise with mandatory wipes, specifically by respecting your time investment into the game. They wanted to offer you a choice. And they even go on to say that if you haven't completed as much as you'd like, you can keep on raiding, building, and growing your stash, and you can engage with the expedition system, receive those buffs and rewards and the bragging rights when the time is right, probably in the next window. Now, what's not clear is if those permanent rewards above are going to be the same every expedition. I would imagine that you're going to see different rewards every time you engage with this system, and albeit small, that's creating that unique experience that players who do actually want to reset their progress get as some sort of reward for getting all the way through the project, investing heavily in it, and then you get some cosmetics on the back end. The temporary buffs, you could look at those as a clear advantage, but I don't really choose to look at it that way. I think those are things that just make the experience a little bit easier, knowing that players are going to start from absolutely nothing. What I find interesting is that they didn't really talk about a lot of the blueprint drama that has been circulating on Reddit. The idea that players can hold on to these blueprints, drop them to their friends who maybe aren't engaging in the system, and then potentially getting them all back on day one, giving those players that reset a huge advantage if they get all of those high-tier blueprints. Think wolf packs, ospreys, whatever else. Getting all of those back on day one after a reset does completely change the balance of the game. Now, we don't know all of the details of what's actually happening around the Expedition project launching, right? Imagine there is going to be some sort of patch. We know there is a big December patch coming as part of the roadmap. So you have to imagine that this is only one piece of a bigger patch or bigger set of changes that are coming to the game. We know that December is a critical period for the early stages of Arc Raiders based on the roadmap. So consider this to be the first step in what I expect to be a multi-step process of updating the game, maybe looking at balance, introducing new content, all as part of the team's roadmap for December. So a lot is changing, right? Expeditions is something we have talked about for a while here on the channel. We've been excited about it. You kind of know if you're going to engage with the system or not, and now you have all of the concrete details to make that decision yourself. So if you have any questions about the Expedition project, whether or not you should go or not go, leave us a comment down below. And as always, if you like our content and you want more Arc Raiders in your feed, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching. Bye on.